Back in December, I went to see Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker for a third time. Look, I'd already promised a friend who's a huge Star Wars fan that I'd see it with him when I was home for Christmas. And it'd become like a little tradition for us to see the sequel trilogy together at Christmas time. Also, I'd made the promise way before I'd seen it the first time, which was a rookie mistake. Back before the big C word, I'd go to the cinema quite a lot, so I tend to know what trailers are currently on rotation, but this time when I walked into the screen, something was playing that I didn't recognise. It kind of felt like we walked into the middle of a film, so I went out and asked somebody if we'd walked into the right screen. Turns out we had, so I go back in, and that's when I realised my mistake. Because what had just finished was the IMAX exclusive preview of the opening sequence of Tenet. I know. I didn't even know they were doing that. And then, to add insult to injury, I had to sit through The Rise of Skywalker for a third time. That film is 142 minutes long. That's 426 minutes of my life. That's 7 hours, 5 minutes and 59 seconds I'll never get back. Would have been worth it if I saw the Tenet opening sequence. Before we go any further, I just want to let you know this video is sponsored by the gorgeous people over at Surfshark VPN. Oh, look, this is getting silly. They're now offering you 85% off with 3 extra months for free. Just use the promo code Jack Howard. I'll leave the link in the description. This isn't the sort of video I would usually make. Speculating about movies is the sort of thing that I used to do when I was younger, but not so much anymore. I learned that going into the film with a tick list of what you'd like to see does not a good experience make. That said, the Tenet trailer came out, and it's got my brain ticking. There's something about Christopher Nolan's movies, I can't deny it. I'm a total film boy cliche. Right off the bat, it looks excellent and ambitious and weird and original, and Robert Pattinson is frightfully English.
That part is a little dramatic.
It feels like it's going to change the game again, like Nolan did with Inception 10 years ago. Yeah, that's right. It's been 10 human years and that film hasn't aged a day. Like Paul Rudd. I've been watching a lot of people's reactions to the trailer and listening to their theories and really enjoying this collective anticipation, especially as it seems likely to be the film that's going to reopen cinemas. However, I'm very excited by something that I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about. And maybe it's because it's obvious, I don't know, but I just want to talk about it.
You're not shooting the bullet, you're catching it.
Whoa.
Generally, everyone seems to be quite preoccupied with how the time manipulation is going to work, like what the time travel or time inversion technology will be. I was having a conversation with my good friend Sammy Paul about all this, and he mentioned a theory relating to phase cancellation in audio. Something about inverting the frequency so that they cancel each other out, using that same practice but applying it to time. I don't know, it all sounds very interesting and he might be on the right tracks, but I'm more interested in how time is going to affect the story that Nolan's going to tell. It's the same as Inception. I'm not bothered how they get into dreams. It's just a way of telling a story. I do think that he's going to be a bit more specific about the technology in this film. I think he kind of has to, because it seems way more complicated when you're talking about timelines going in different directions. Nolan quite famously enjoys playing with the audience's perception of time. I was actually lucky enough to talk to him about that a couple of years ago, and if you want to check that video out, I'll leave the link in the description and also I'll link it at the end. In Memento, the story is told backwards. Inception, time works differently in dreams. Interstellar, time works differently on different planets. Dunkirk, time works differently depending on which character perspective you're being shown. And in Tenet, I think the clue's in the name. It's a palindrome. It's the same forwards as it is backwards, and I suspect that Nolan is going to have found a way to make the structure of the film itself palindromic. The plot and the events will somehow be the same in reverse. I think the opening sequence is going to be the climax of the film. I obviously don't know how, but I have some ideas, and I want to talk about that, and I might accidentally touch on some spoilers. I don't know, so you're watching this at your own risk. This isn't a prediction thing, by the way. It's just speculation born out of pure excitement. I don't want this to be a Jack called it thing. I could be way off. But if I'm not, cool, Jack called it. A lot of the shots that we see in the trailer feature characters and vehicles operating on different timelines, one going forward and the other one going in reverse, but in the same frame. And I think that we're going to see a lot of these moments twice, but we're going to have a different context for them the second time round. So something will shift in the story, but we're going to see that action scene again, but this time backwards. So the one who was going forward before will now be going in reverse. That idea, you get it.
Well, we'll try and keep up.
But here's the big one. There seems to be a real emphasis on this scene in both trailers that have been released. My expectation is that this scene is going to take place around the midpoint of the film and that John David Washington's character is going to die.
How would you like to die?
Old.
You chose the wrong profession.
I also can't help but suspect that the person that he's fighting in that scene is himself from the future. He's the same height, in build. There are shots of him wearing the same tactical gear later in the trailer. I feel like there's going to be a part of the story where John David Washington realizes that he has to be the one to kill his past self for the mission to succeed or something. Like in Prisoner of Azkaban, when Harry realizes that he has to be the one to save himself and he does the Expecto Patronum and he's like, oh, it's not my dad, it was me. I have to save myself. Except in this, it will be not a magic metaphor for looking after yourself, but the opposite of that. Look, this trailer is under 3 minutes long, and it's rumoured that the runtime for Tenet is 3 hours. But what I'm saying is, I don't think I've figured the movie out. I'm putting the pieces together based on the stuff that I know about Chris Nolan, but there's going to be a bunch of stuff in that film that I have no idea about. I want it to surprise me. The plot stuff that I've mentioned, I'm probably off on it, but something I feel quite confident about is the palindrome thing. And look, if Nolan's found a way to make his 3-hour action movie work structurally as a palindrome with a story that makes sense and character arcs that make sense, he will have truly outdone himself. That is so exciting. I will be gobsmacked. I think it's going to be the sort of movie that gets better on multiple viewings. I'll definitely see it multiple times. So that's like at least 9, let's be honest, 12 hours that I'll never get back. Time well spent. I'm really interested to know your thoughts on all of this, like on what I've said, or maybe share some of your own juicy theories in the comments. Thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring this video and for helping me keep the lights on during this weird time. Although, not many lights on in here at the moment. Thanks for helping me keep this lamp on. This lamp has become a staple of my videos. They're a VPN or a virtual private network that offer lots of very helpful data protection stuff, but the best thing is being able to change your location so that you can unlock different content from around the world. For example, if you wanted to catch up on Christopher Nolan movies, on Netflix in the UK, you can only watch Dunkirk, but if you change your location to America, you can watch Inception. Germany has the Dark Knight trilogy, The Prestige, Interstellar, and Memento. Germany's got the right idea. I've always said that, well, not always. Again, use the promo code Jack Howard and you'll get 85% off and 3 extra months for free. I'll leave the link in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you. Bye.